I've got to be honest, I have been so lonely in the craft at times, and I'm sure some of you have too. I wanted to share about some of the things that I've done over the years to really not be so alone in what I'm doing. And towards the ends of this, I want to share with you something that I want to create so that all of us will feel less alone. But if you're out there and you're longing for a coven or your tribe or your Hogwarts letter that never came, I just want to say that you're not alone in this. I'm right there with you. And while this intro is pretty cool, I have to say that the rest of this isn't very visual. So this is a great one for doing the dishes to or listening to in the car. I'm going to share some things that may surprise you. I thought I'd just talk about this. I'd talk about my own loneliness and the ways in which I found my tribe at times, my mentors, my search for a coven, and what I've really done to develop myself and my craft and my spirituality all these years with and without people, because I think this is really common for us. I mean, I don't know, let me know down below if you felt lonely or longed for a tribe or a coven, or just long to have a community where you're actually brushing elbows with someone so that you just have that sense of camaraderie in spirit, And this is great. I love what we have here, you guys. I really love what we have here online, but I understand that desire for more. And so, yeah, I just want to talk about the ways in which I've made that happen for myself. And there are ways that actually might surprise you. I think it's kind of crazy how lonely we can get as women. There have been times in my life where I have been so lonely, felt so alone as a magical practitioner. I think there's this longing in us for belonging that's really natural, especially when it comes to witchcraft. I think that we have this idea of having a coven or possibly even having received our Hogwarts letter. Wouldn't that be great to have received your Hogwarts letter as a kid and to have grown up in a magical community and to be really just a part of something where you felt seen, as though you belonged, that you were heard, and you had a safe place to really learn the things that you really want to learn and grow in. But for us as magical practitioners, the idea of a Hogwarts letter is this idea that we are being seen and recognized. And I think that's a huge desire for us as human beings, to have someone else see us and recognize the potential, the beauty, to see the magic in us, to see the potential of who we are and to call that out, to actually receive that letter being like, yes, I see you. I see you, and you are invited because you are special. If no one ever told you that you're special, I want to tell you right now that you are special, just the way you are, whether you got that letter or not. Maybe you've been searching for a group to belong to or a coven, someplace that you can actually interact one-on-one with people and share yourself magically in spirit. I honestly feel like there are not very many people in a lifetime that truly see us, that perceive us for who we are in all ways. And I don't think, maybe there's no one in every way that we want to be valued. And so one of the things that I've done over the years to really help myself to feel better about wanting to be seen, wanting to be a part, to have that tribe that just gets me 100%, is to stop and recognize the people in my life who do recognize me or see me, value my gifts, my traits in different ways. So, for example, I have my family, and not everyone in my family recognizes me as a magical being. But there are people in my family who recognize other aspects of me and appreciate that. I think loneliness occurs, for me anyway, has occurred when I have this desire that for something that's really, really big, and then I start hyper-focusing on it, and then it's not there, and so it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, and then the lack becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. So by turning my attention to what I do have, the people that I do have, the people that do see me, the little interactions that I have where I feel seen, where I'm activated in my giftings. And, you know, our magic comes from our giftings. You know, maybe some of you are teachers. Maybe some of you are very empathic. You recognize other people's feelings. Maybe some of you are cheerleaders or good listeners. Man, good listeners, you are such valuable people. Oh my goodness, you're such valuable people. But recognizing your gifts, you know, maybe you're a creative. And so you make creative things, and there are times when people see your creative efforts and they really go, wow, that is so cool. They're seeing you. So recognizing the times that we are seen and gathering them up, gathering those sparkles and putting them in our heart, I think can really do a lot to fill our cups as practitioners. Also, I think that when we honor being seen, the little ways that we're seen, whether you're an encourager and you were in the store and you told someone they looked good, which is a really special magic to make someone feel good about themselves. Man, that's a really powerful magic. When we recognize the ways in which people are seeing us, then we move into our giftings, and our giftings really flow out of us. Our magic really starts to pour out of us, and we get comfortable with being who we are, and we get seen more and more and more. Because a lot of times we're hiding from the world who we are. And I don't need to be in my face. I don't need to be in everyone's face about every aspect of myself, expecting everyone to see everything about me. So just really honoring those little sacred moments that occur is really powerful, really, really powerful. Another thing that I think we long for as magical practitioners is to be heard, is to have someone who really listens to us, hears us, hears the song of who we are, which is partially being seen, but also we can talk to and be vulnerable with and not be judged. So look for your listeners, look for the people in your life that listen, and really count them as a real blessing. You know, you might not be able to tell them everything, but the people that you can. And I want to emphasize that these are not necessarily like physical humans. They could be animals. I think that's really powerful. It could be nature that listens to you and that you feel like really hears. It could be your ancestors. It could be your spirit guides. It could be deity. There are all different types of beings to connect with that we can speak to and be heard. And I always say that vulnerability is a superpower, and I really do believe that it is a superpower. We have to risk ourselves to be heard. It involves opening ourselves up and allowing ourselves to be vulnerable and getting stronger in that. When we are in our vulnerability, for me anyway, I don't have anything to prove. And that is it's a very powerful, but it's also an enticing place to be when you don't have to be on the defense. Seek out your listeners. And if you're a listener, I just want to thank you for being the type of person who's a good listener. It's a real gift. It's a real talent. It's a gift to the world. When we release our gifts, our magic, it's a two-way street. It's given and it's received. And in the giving, we're charged up. But also, when other people receive it, we're also really charged up from it. I think the other reason that we want our Hogwarts letter is because we want a place to belong. There's nothing wrong with wanting to belong. And some of you live in areas where maybe you're really in the broom closet. You're unable to be like out there really shining your witchy self. That doesn't mean you can't shine. You don't need to be, I'm a witch. I'm a magical practitioner to be shining that light. I think finding ways to connect, to belong in your community can be incredibly powerful. If it's working at a soup kitchen, finding some place to serve, finding some place to sign up, going to group events in the area and looking for the ways that you do match up instead of always focusing on the ways that you don't. Again, like moving away from a lack mentality where it's always about what you don't have. I have to say that I have begun looking in my community for ways that I can really connect. I found a plant spirit meditation group in our town, and I'm just thrilled to go hang out with other people that just want to commune with plants. They're probably not going to hit every aspect of who I am, but I know that there's this one connection point that we have, and finding those connection points can really create a sense of belonging while you're looking for that perfect group. One of the most important reasons that I think we want our Hogwarts letter is because we want a place to learn. We want a place to learn that we feel safe, like we're getting the right information. So maybe you're wanting a coven, or you're wanting that group of people or the pagan community to be that place where you can really learn and grow. And you want to know that you're doing it right. Like if we had the school of witchcraft, then, hopefully we would be getting good information and we would know that we were doing it the right way. I just want to say that there's something so incredibly fun. There's this adventure in knowing that you are on your path, the right path, and pursuing your own magical path and trusting that goddess, divine, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, is going to bring the right things at the right time to you, the right people at the right time. Everything around you is a learning opportunity. As a magical practitioner, I think that is a huge part of being a witch, if nobody's ever told you this, is personal development. It's doing the shadow work. It's learning to channel your power. It's learning to grow your focus. It's learning to go beyond just the basics of wanting power into being able to be yourself more fully, because you have done the work of letting go of the stories that have held you captive, the lies that you have believed about yourself, the upbringing that wasn't quite right, the abuse that you've endured. And I'm not saying abuse is right, but all of those different things, like your craft helps you to work through that and move into your power to where it doesn't become about the stories that were from your life a long time ago, but you are creating your own story by diving into your magical path and trusting the gurus, the sages, the witches, the people that piss you off, that come along, that are your teachers. Like, I always wanted a one-time mentor, but I realized that I've had so many people that have come into my life over the years that are my mentors. Just the people that are around you right now, they are your teachers. They're your greatest teachers. Listening to those lessons, trusting the divine to bring people into your path when you need to work something out. Yeah, you're learning to be your more powerful self by submitting to the situations that are around you and seeing the people that are around you as your divine teachers. We don't need a Hogwarts letter to tell us that we are who we are. We need to listen with our heart very deeply and trust the path that we have, that we are walking right now, this very minute. So if you've got kids and you're not able to do that like intricate practice, then make it work with where you're at. Enjoy the magic of small children. Let them teach you about magic. Let them teach you about tapping into the liminal world. Like, kids sit around and all of a sudden they're all pretending and they can all see the same thing. Why is that? Well, they're actually inhabiting that magical space. Let them teach you about that. If it's later in life and you're not able to climb Everest to have that top of the mountain experience, trust that the experience that you're having right now, you're ready to be still and to be listening to the path and the people and the places and drawing on the wisdom that's within you. If you don't have the money for all the stuff, the trappings, then submit to that. Submit to the joy of not having a lot and drawing your magic from within, using what's naturally around you in your environment. Instead of longing for what you don't have, be present with what you do, and it will suddenly become enough. Here we are, we're quite a ways into this video, and if you've made it this far, you're probably interested in hanging out and not offended by something that I've said. So I want to put this out there. I am thinking about running some monthly courses. They'll just be short. Each month will have a theme to it. And the purpose of it is to provide prompts and different activities for everyone to do where you can explore how to make your own magical craft, how to make your craft your own, how to reinvigorate your craft, reinvent your craft, or find your own personal magic. And then at the end of the month, we will have a get-together online where we will share some of the things that we've learned about ourselves, our discoveries, and maybe even some of the magic that we've done, so that we can have that community piece. If that's something you're interested in, I really encourage you to sign up for my newsletter down below so that you get notified when I release this. And if you have some ideas on what you might like to study and do, please let me know down below. I really want to hear about it.